Next thing that we want to do is some authentication. The authentication that we're going to configure just for this demonstration, we'll do MD5 authentication. We can configure this on the interface. We can also configure this on the interface and within the routing process if we wanted all interfaces in a specific area to do an authentication. What I'm going to do is I'm going to authenticate R1 and R2, first of all, with that password of Cisco. Okay, so when we do our IP OSPF authentication command, we have authentication as well as authentication key. I'm going to say authentication, and it's going to be message digest. And then we'll set the message digest key. We've got to give it a key ID. We'll use a key ID of 1. We're going to tell it to use MD5 as the algorithm. Set the key. And now we've got OSPF authentication configured on F00. So what should happen is, in a moment, our neighbor will go down. And we just saw that happen right there on R2. And that's going to happen on our ASA as well. But we're not necessarily going to see a message about it on R2. Let's go back here to R2, and let's go ahead and configure it on F00 for OSPF authentication. Okay, set it to Cisco, and we should see our neighbor reestablish on this interface with R1. We're not going to see our ASA reestablish, but we will see R1 reestablish. And it looks like we already saw it on R2. The neighbor's down. And actually, I entered the wrong key. Let's put the right key in there. Now our neighbors will come back up. So our neighbors are taking a while to come up here. Let's go ahead and enable debugging. Turn on adjacency events here. It's telling me we've got a mismatched authentication. So first of all, mismatched authentication key, message digest key 1. And then we're getting .13, which is our ASA, saying they're not using authentication, but we are, so something's wrong there. Let's just verify that we did the key right. Get the interface. Let's go compare it over here on R1. Okay, so there's our message digest key on R1. There's our message digest key on R2. They actually look the same. We can shut the interface and bring it back up. We also want to look to make sure we don't have a space after it. Back in on R1. And see if it sticks. We'll do a debug on the adjacency just to make sure that it's liking the key. Right now it doesn't like the key that we're receiving from our ASA. But it looks like our key is being accepted for router 1, so we're okay there now.